Perfect. Hello everyone, and thank you for coming to this talk. The goal of this talk is to give you the tools to build co-pilots on Odoo with LLMs. Before we start the presentation, this is the QR code if you want to ask questions at the end of our talk. And I'll leave it here on the screen for a couple of minutes while we quickly introduce ourselves. I'm Giovanni, CEO of Brio.
And I'm Nikhil, CTO of Brio.
So we've built Brio with the mission to empower SMEs in this new age of AI. And what better platform to build on than Odoo? So just a bit of a background on my end. I actually started my career in finance and investment banking, but then quickly moved after 5 years into operations and have been an SME myself, have been built a wholesale business and then helped build the operations of Creatize, a manufacturing marketplace based in Berlin. And while going through these experiences, I started realizing there were some challenges that we want to solve with Brio.
Yeah, well, I studied computer science at IIT Bombay and have built language parsers and have been working with AI before it was cool. So I've built threat detection engines at Capital One using cutting edge AI techniques. And yeah, looking forward to presenting what we have been working on until now.
Yeah, so again, as we mentioned, the goal is to give you some tools to build your own co-pilots that are solving concrete problems for your customers. And I mean, AI has been you've been probably bombarded with over the last months with the potential that this technology is unleashing in workspace productivity. The same way as the internet did, and before that, personal computers. Now the question is, however, how do we merge this new technology and Odoo, where actual work is happening in day-to-day? And let's look at the technology behind products like ChatGPT, which are large language models. And let's focus on one core capability that is parsing. So large language models today are already great at essentially understanding natural language, but also understanding, for example, PDFs that get generated from systems like Odoo. Think of a purchase order. And if we think about it, actually more than 30% of the time of purchasing teams are spent manually parsing this communication that is coming in from their vendors and then extracting the relevant information and updating Odoo accordingly. So wouldn't it be amazing to actually have an Odoo app that with LLM receives the email from your vendor, go through that emails, go through the attachments, maybe it's a quotation, and then updates automatically Odoo with that information. You can do it using two types of LLMs. The closed source LLMs that are those behind the products that everyone here has seen used multiple times, behind ChatGPT or Bard, the Google version. But also, there's a whole world of open source LLMs, and let us dive into it.
Yeah, so I guess the question really is which ones to choose from. Should we choose the open source ones or should we choose the closed source ones? Well, we at Brio are massive fans of open source LLMs, and it makes sense because Odoo has this philosophy of using open source software. And in the right context, we believe open source LLMs are better because of three main reasons. They are cheaper, they are faster, and they are safer. They are cheaper because the only cost you will incur is the cost of hosting these LLMs in your infrastructure. You don't have to pay for use. If you use OpenAI or Bard today, you have to pay for every inference, as in for every question you ask, you pay either 1 or 3 cents per 1,000 tokens. But if you have a LLM running in your own infrastructure, all you pay is just the compute. It's faster because these language models are running in your infrastructure. You're not querying the servers of Google or servers of OpenAI. Everything resides in your own network. And this is the same reasons they are safer as well, because your data is never leaving your network. You don't have to be worried about will OpenAI use my proprietary data to train its language model. You can do it yourself. Yeah, I'll quickly show you the GitHub repository. This repository is the result of all the countless hours that we have spent fine-tuning our own language model, writing all the code behind it, and we are releasing it for the community today. You all can use it. Let me quickly go through the repository itself. Well, the prerequisites are very simple. All you need is just Python 3.7. That's it. You should already have pip, you should already have Unicorn in your local machines. Installation is super easy. You just clone the repository, you just install all the required Python libraries, you just have to run a simple command, pip install requirements.txt, and you can download the model using a simple wget command. So here, the link that I'm mentioning here is for downloading the Llama 2, which is an open source model by Facebook. This one is for 7 billion parameters. It's the lightest Llama model there is. You also have Llama with 13 billion parameters and a Llama with 70 billion parameters. According to your use case and according to the compute that you have, you can choose the models that you want. All of these models are hosted on Hugging Face. Hugging Face is like a marketplace for models. So you can find all the open source models on Hugging Face. You can just go there and you can just use whichever model you want. Now I guess this is a good point to talk about this whole CPU versus GPU debate. So originally the language models can only run on GPUs because they require an immense processing power. Yeah, and these GPUs are extremely expensive and they are very, very difficult to get. Just an anecdote for this, I was on a call with AWS for almost 2 hours last night because we wanted to set up a very quick demo for you all so that you can use these GPUs, you can check how these language models work. But even after staying on a call with them for almost 2 hours, we couldn't get a GPU so quickly. So it's super difficult to get access to these GPUs. So understanding this pain, the code that we have written, it can run your language model in your local machine, in your CPUs. That means you can run these language models in your laptops, in your Ubuntu servers, in any systems that you have. Yeah, so until now we have seen how to download the language model. Now let's look at how to run it. So the first step is running it locally. We have already written an inference script. You just have to run this inference script and the language model will be working in your own laptop. This is super useful for scenarios where, for example, you don't have access to internet, you are in flight, and you are super curious, you have some doubt, you can just ask the language model, and it's equivalent to asking Google the basic questions, of course. But I think what's really useful and what I guess most of you would be interested in is how you can build applications on the top of these language models. So for that, we are also releasing our API code. So the code will allow you to host your language model in your own servers. It'll expose the endpoint, and then you can just use this endpoint in your own application to run these inferences. Yeah, so that's the repository, and that's the code that we have. It's super simple to use. There are just 4 or 5 commands. You can just run these commands and set your own language models. And we also have a demo for you. If you want, you can. I'll share the link, and then you can just check out how it feels to use these language models. And now for the final point. So all of this work was a result of the application that we built at Brio for our customers using these language models. And I guess Giovanni would now give you a very quick demo of these language models. Yeah?
Yes, so let me walk you through a quick demo of an application that we've built using this infrastructure. So let's go back to the example of a purchasing team or a sales team for matter, receiving emails from customers and having to update their Odoo accordingly. So let's assume I'm I'm a sales manager and received this email from our friend Addison at Deco Addict, and it has a purchase order as a PDF generated from their ERP, which is essentially confirming a quotation that I recently sent out to Addison. Now, as a sales manager, I want to know how does this compare to the quotation that I have in Odoo to make sure that I'm generating the right order. So, first of all, you can, as we were showing, use your knowledge in building apps to, for example, have that app already in.
There's no internet for some reason.
Sorry. So you find it processed in your. Guess we're having an internet problem here. Excuse me. So essentially, as soon as we get the internet back, I'll go into it. But just to not stall here, what you can build is an app that is working, for example, in the chatterbox, and it's connected to the inbox of your customer. It processes that email, and it automatically extracts the information from the purchase order that you were seeing, and after having extracted that purchase order, if you feed the LLM with the content of that purchase order and the quotations that you have open in your Odoo, you can actually ask it to parse that information and to give you, as a result, an overview of whether something has changed, quantities have changed, or whether the price has changed, an address has changed. And as you know how to build, you can then directly ask it to do to update that quotation. I'm sorry for this, but I guess you get the point. We'll try to maybe connect on my
Slides.
Yes.
Yeah, we have actually also recorded the video of it. It's on YouTube. So sorry, there's some issue with the internet, but yeah, we'll quickly show you the QR code.
Correct.
So this QR code should have everything related to, first, the access to the repository itself. Then also you should have access to the YouTube where we have recorded the demo videos of our application. Yeah.
And yeah, looking forward to answer any of your questions.
Yeah,
thing.
So is the model Llama 2 not too big enough to run on a server? Actually, no. We are using Llama 2 we are using the lightest version of Llama 2. So the version that we are using is Llama 2 with 7 billion parameters. And a nice heuristic to think is you require twice the memory of number of parameters. So for a model with 7 billion parameters, you would need around 14 GBs of memory. If you have 14 GBs of memory, the model should run. And I guess storage is never an issue if it's server.
Are there license fees, I guess? No, so right now we've open sourced what you find. Fees. How, I guess.
Yeah, it's just okay, if you have any questions, we'll be right outside. You can directly ask us as well.
If you didn't have the time to capture the QR code, we also have Rushikesh, a team member of ours, that has some flyers with the QR code, so you can make sure you get access to the GitHub repository. If there's any other question, happy to answer it. Otherwise, we're sorry for this inconvenience of the internet, but thank you very much.
Thank you.